Hey guys, this is Daniel Dr. D, and I'm back after a long hiatus. I've been doing some astronomy and stuff, but in the meantime, I've been working on the Shinjitsu Audio Magnum speakers. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Magnums, this is a new speaker that Morris Emmerich at Shinjitsu Audio did. So this will probably be the first review on them, and I'm going to tell you some of the process I went through to build the cabinets, which is very similar to the Shinjitsu Hero that you see beside me here. That if you guys have followed my videos, you will remember that when Bob and I went to Common Wave in East Los Angeles to listen to the Klipsch OJazz. However, I do feel they are strongly overpriced. There's just no need for that. Those speakers are worth whatever a person is willing to pay for them. But when you have companies that have professional CNC machining and things like that, and you see $8,500 for a pair of, speakers like that, it's a bit, hard to swallow. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. Bob has been working with the Volti Audio speakers. He has been working with the Volti Raz at the studio and the Volti Audio Lucera. I will be going there on Sunday to shoot some videos, and we will start going back and doing some videos again. I know I've been gone a little while, but I've been doing a lot of astronomy and I've been working on the Magnums, so I've been distracted. I'm going to show you the Magnums in a moment and what's going on. The horns are still being worked on with the crossovers. Morris should have those done soon, and those will be shipped to me after this video pretty soon. But this video will require probably 2 or 3 videos in all to do the complete series on the Magnum speakers. So the Shinjitsu Hero is a magnificent speaker, and as I said in the past, if you've been watching my videos, you'll see over the course of the year I've been doing all kinds of DIY experiments. The Magnum, which is beside me, which you don't see yet, is going to be the last speaker that I'm going to build. I will not be building any more speakers because I just don't have the mental capacity to focus. I have too many distractions like Coda, my wife, my son, and you need absolute concentration when you're doing this kind of work. Any distraction can cause an accident with table saw or things of that sort. And you need focus. You can't, do both. And anybody who can, good luck. I'm glad you can. But for me, I need to concentrate, play a little classical music in the background when I'm doing woodworking. It's just hard to do with distractions. And the Magnum series is going to be the flagship of the Shinjitsu Audio line, or at least it's supposed to be. And we shall see how it sounds. Now, Morris has sent me some private demos, and so far I'm very impressed with the demos with the earbuds. As we all know, earbuds will never, earphones or recordings that we take will never replicate what we hear in real life, but they do offer clues. We can tell if the speaker has more bass, has more treble, more mid-range. Those things are very audible in recordings. And all I'm using is an iPhone 15 Pro to record the videos. I don't have any mics or anything. All the videos you've ever heard are with iPhones. I don't have any special tools or apparatuses to do all that. So this just gives you some perspective and idea on how this works. Now, I'm going to tell you about the process I did with the Magnums. Now, the astonishing thing about the Magnums is Morris had indicated to me that they can reach down somewhere in the low 20 hertz region, which is quite astonishing. The crossover frequency for the Bema 12BR70 12-inch driver is from about 20 hertz. I think they're listed as 30 hertz in their brochure, but the way the cabinet is designed will also affect the bass. So this is a ported design. It's a massive cabinet. Each speaker will weigh about 120 pounds, the way I did it. The cabinet is approximately 85 liters of interior volume. I think Morris at Shinjitsu Audio needs it somewhere to be between 80 and 90 liters interior. I did all the calculations. Might come out to about roughly 85 when you account for the baffles and everything and the volume that they occupy and whatnot. I will discuss how they were insulated. Now, Morris is now doing a DIY. He got some people that really wanted to be able to do DIY. So Morris has some DIY plans which can be bought, and I will provide links in the description below for you guys who might be interested in doing DIY. That is what mine is. But I haven't added up all the receipts and everything. But, you know, there's always something. You need some screws, you need some packing material, some wood putty. And it's like the zebra wood comes in planks, and some are 8 inches wide, some are 10. But the speaker is about 17 inches wide. And so I had to take 3 planks and match them. And it took me a good 30 minutes to really match them. You know, scratching my head and flipping them around. It is very time consuming to do this kind of stuff. And if you want to do a DIY project, it can be a wonderful, rewarding experience. It is a lot of work. I'm going to take you through that journey. And we were going to do some sound demos. I have come to appreciate the sound of all the speakers. I still have my Dynaco ST70, it's not going anywhere. I have my Aretha from Earhard behind me, and below that the Dynaco Pass, the ST35, the Analog Ethos, my Klipsch Heresies, my Klipsch Forte 1s, my Magnum Pen LRS Plus. So I still have all that stuff. I'm not searching for the perfect system. There's no such thing as that. I don't think it's obtainable. I don't even know what it is, you know. I don't even know what a perfect speaker is, you know. And I cannot go out and just think I can build some cabinets and throw some speakers in there, and all of a sudden I'm reading up on capacitors and resistors and I'm some expert on, no, not even close. I have great respect for audio engineers. These people train so hard, they are not given the credit they deserve because we are filled with YouTube people that just want subscriber counts and review, gear. They get stuff sent to. No, I'm not that person. It's not going to happen. I still pay for my gear. I paid Morris for everything I bought. I don't get free gear from Morris or anything like that. No, doesn't work that way. Because once you do that, and I'm the same way with telescope industry. I do YouTube for YouTube videos for a company, but my own personal astronomy YouTube channel only has like 80 subscribers because you will sell your soul if you go down that road. So I just don't want to do that. I want to keep things real as possible, let you guys know all the ups and downs with this stuff, and show respect for the engineers. They've done great work. They deserve respect. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to review Shinjitsu audio speakers, because I love the concept of horns. I love horns. I love classic jazz. And horns just deliver it. I cannot listen to conventional speakers. I go to the trade shows and I listen to the speakers they have, and I don't like them. You know, I always walk out of there and it's like this it's like this sterile, analytical, it's like it's supposed to be this perfect. It reminds me of news footage. If you look at Blade Runner, if you look at the cinematography in the movies Blade Runner, it's beautiful, the darks and the shadows and the lighting and everything. That's beautiful to me. That's art. And I cannot put I can't put a number on how music makes you feel when you hear it through a horn speaker. There's no equation. I don't know what the equation is. Maybe you got your own equation, but I don't look at numbers. I don't read, get into the excessive technical information and all of a sudden think I'm going to buy an amplifier because it has this or this, and then that means it's going to be great. I don't know how people do it, you know. So that's just the way I operate. So as time has gone on, what I've determined is that, you know, when you listen to like a Volti audio speaker, or you listen to the Klipsch speakers, there's only a few companies who specialize in horn speakers. There's some expensive, exotic ones, but you don't need that to hear good sound, you know, not at all, not even remotely. And, you know, if I were to pick a speaker, if you look at the Volti Audio speakers like the Raz that we review and the Lucera, those have nice, palpable upper mid-range sound. While the bass, the cabinet on the Shinjitsu Hero, for example, it has all this beautiful warm textures. It's just gorgeous. So there's a little bit more in the upper mid-range in sound compared to these with the Voltis. However, the Magnum is supposed to address those kinds of things. So the horn is like 17 inches wide. It's like 11 inches tall. It's a massive horn that goes on top of this speaker. So it's going to be interesting. The tweeter that it uses is the Bema CP750 tweeter, which I think it has like a voice coil. It's like 3 or 4 inches. It's just massive. And then the TD460 horn, it's a big horn and it's relatively light. Now, it's kind of interesting because people have said, like, you know, they'll take an example of a metal horn, they'll hit it with metal, and you hear ting ting, you hear vibrations, and you'll hear plastic or acrylic, and it dampens out right away. But you got to remember that frequencies going through a horn don't hit the, you know, the material the same way a physical object does. So how much of that really plays into reality, I don't really know, you know. But you know, this one's metal, sounds beautiful, and the TD460, that will be the acrylic horn, and we'll see how it goes. But one of the things I've realized about the Klipsch Forte 1, which I have, the mid-range is kind of mellow compared to even this or the Volti Audios. Those have more palpable, open mid-range. They sound more lifelike in jazz. This sounds more lifelike than the Klipsch Forte. The Forte, shockingly, sounds relaxed. If you don't get that experience with the Klipsch Heritage speaker from the past, you're not driving it correctly. You're probably using a very shrill solid-state receiver or something. Or you could even have a shrill tube amp. So in my opinion, you want to have a warm tube amp, not excessively warm, but a warm tube amp to run earlier Heritage speakers, because if they're not run correctly, they can give you a false impression that they're shouty or whatever people, you know, associate with them. But again, the mid-range on the Forte is a very relaxed, mild mid-range, and therefore with recordings that are not so good, like classic rock, like Styx or Journey, or some of the other, like Rush or whatever, some of those recordings are not the best recordings. And so what happens is that if you put them on a speaker like this, or you put them on a speaker like a Volti Audio, they can be too revealing sometimes, and they bring out the imperfections of those recordings. And that's one of the things I do like about the Klipsch Forte 1. It's more forgiving, even though people will tell you otherwise sometimes, depending on how, again, what you're driving them with. But for a classic rock, the Forte 1 is great. But it does lack the mid-range, the open airiness that you get from this speaker, the Shinjitsu Hero, and I'm certainly sure the Magnum as we proceed. So here I use 2 5x5 sheets of 3/4 inch birch apple ply, maple, bird's eye maple, beautiful wood. Plies are very dense. And I used a router to cut the hole. That hole is exactly 5 inches. That's what Morris wanted. These were the 2 pieces for the that I had, after they were done, I used for the the zebra wood. And this is 2 1/4 inches thick, so it's a very solid platform there. You can see the router, and I had to cut both sides of this to make it clean enough. And then you can see the central portion, which is the remainder of it, and what was left. It's so hard jigging up this stuff because, you got to do it one time and you can't make a mistake. I had to measure it, remeasure it, and these pieces of brick were just used to lay it down. I had set everything up first to make sure everything lined up good, and then I went ahead and put the glue in. The color discoloration is from the glue when you wipe it, but it sands out. It's a thin layer, so it's not too bad. And you can see, when you put these things together, they look ugly at first. You're like, wow, what is this going to turn into? But at the end, and when it's all said and done, it just comes out really beautiful. Here I was just buffing it with the beeswax. And what you do is you apply the beeswax, let it, dry and harden for about 15 minutes, and then buff over it. You have to be careful not to melt it. You want it to be kind of dry when it goes on. That way it polishes nicely. And as you can see the result with it, I just put them on a couple of dollies outside, let them sit in the sun a little bit. And sometimes you let the wood sit in the sun, you're going to get some expansion and contraction with temperatures. And sometimes when you place your fingers or your hands over the wood, you'll feel little bevels even after you sand it. And the reason that occurs is because of the expansion and contraction of the wood. It's a very subtle amount. And the beauty of beeswax is that you can carve it off and resand and then apply more beeswax. It's so forgiving and easy to work with. And these are the braces inside. Each brace, the one on the left that you see here, occupies exactly 1 liter of interior space, and that was calculated. The one on the right is not installed yet, but this is really interesting. So this side has the baffle, this side doesn't yet, because I haven't put it on yet. But watch, this is really interesting. I'm going to hit from the right. Left. And then I used bricks over the top, laid flat on it, and then after it fully dried, I flipped it over, did the other side. There's no screws in there. That stuff, it's like Bondo, and it goes on. It's really strong. Here you can see, after polishing it some, and the wood deepens, the grain of the wood darkens. I got foam around the edges there for the woofers. You can see 1 layer of interior foam. There's 4 layers on the side, and then another 4 layers on the back wall. And that's all Morris calls for, because when it bounces through the interior, it cuts the reflection down, So Morris had very specific ways that he wanted to do this. And I will tell you, after hearing the Hero speaker, how successful that cabinet was, I applied everything that Morris suggested. The wire taps are obviously close to the top, and that is because the horn will, the wires will connect to the wire taps there, and that is the reason for that. And at the end, I applied like a amber colored oil to kind of deepen the coloration, so it's not pure white. I don't like speakers that are very pure white looking. It's a little bit unappealing to my eyes. I like there to be kind of a deeper color in wood, or deeper natural clear coat in there. All right, so this here is the Shinjitsu Hero on the right, and center stage there is the new Magnum speaker and the Forte for perspective. But if you look at the cabinet from above, you'll see that the Magnum, it is a more massive speaker. It's kind of hard because the perspective, the angle that you get with the camera does not quite show you that so well. But I can assure you, it is a beast of a speaker. And I'm gonna just kind of walk you around here on what's going on with the Magnum here. You got the 12BR70 speaker on the front, which has been recessed in there. These panels alone, just that solid 3/4 inch zebra wood, is $330 for the pair. And yeah, quite a bit. And then you have the plies, as you can see. The detail on the plies, everything has been, put together. Now, taps are just like a nightmare to get. They're so limited, and I had some nicer looking ones, but they didn't function. That's another story. Anyway, there's the port. The port is 5 inches deep from the flange, the outer flange. It is 3 inches in width. The hole is cut precisely 5 inches, not 5 1/4. Morris was like, no, I need it to be exactly 5 inches. I said, okay. He's very specific about everything, And there's another look right there, the cabinet. And then I'm going to show you the casters underneath and how that works. Now I do have feet, hairpin feet, just like the ones here on the Shinjitsu Hero to the right, which can attach to the bottom of this plank. And these are casters that lock. This is a 3/4 inch apple ply piece underneath that is tapered at 45 degrees. So the idea of this is that there's a rubber mat that goes between the speaker and it just lifts off there. But it won't move. It's very difficult to get it to move. And it even suction cups to some degree when it's taken off. So it's kind of funny. But the legs, hairpins attached to the bottom there. There's nothing cemented or screwed in or anything like that except for the wheels. And the whole idea of the 45-degree angles is just to eliminate, just to make it disappear. So when you're at a certain angle, it just kind of blends in. You don't even see it anymore. And you can see the heritage in the Shinjitsu lineup, the way Morris has things done. And I like this whole idea of Morris's where he exposes the wood. I just think it looks really beautiful and worked out okay, you know. You can see there's a huge amount. It's 2 1/4 inches thick, solid. It is rock solid all the way through and very heavy. Just those pieces alone. You can see here on the Shinjitsu Hero that's less wood because, you know, it's just a small 8-inch driver. It's not pushing that much air compared to the 12 BR70. So, and you can see how it just, the heritage carries over. And yeah, they came out good. The horns will go on top. The immediacy from the 12 BR70 is just wicked fast. It's an extremely fast driver compared to the Forte. The immediacy of the bass, the impact is very chest pounding. So there you go. As usual, Coda's just kicking it. What's up, Coda? He's napping. He naps 24/7. 18 hours a day, actually. So what I've done is I'm just going to give you guys a quick demo of the Shinjitsu Hero because I didn't really give a lot of demos on them. And the reason is, sorry about that noise in the background, that's Coda walking around. But the reason is because I'm using the reissue Mullard EL34 tubes, which I think coupled with the Mark Audio drivers and the Shinjitsu Hero are just astounding. And this track is a little bit soft on the top end. So what I did is I added the 1.5 ohm resistor to the top horn just to give it a little bit more like get up and go. So you will hear a little bit of treble in this track. Live performances are ear fatiguing, so this is not meant to sound warm and pleasant. It is meant to give you a real live performance. But after breaking these in, you know, loosening up the Mark Audio woofers, and, you know, they just sound astounding. So give you a couple of demos.